Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to today's video. And for today, I'm gonna be showing you guys some of my favorite lures that I like to use right now around this time, what I use a lot for different scenarios. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so the first method of fishing is obviously more so if you have a boat, but you can also do it if you're at home, but it's not going to be as effective on your own dock. I mean, it'll still work, but it's going to be dock flipping. So you got your jig, your flipping jig. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. Alright, so you're flipping jig. And then, as much as you guys can, I use the Googan Baits Bandito Bug. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you know what that is. Or the Googan Baits Kraken Craw. For me, I like the Bandito Bug more. I find it more effective on the jig, depending on how big the jig is. Like this one's a 1/2 ounce. This is going to be more for deeper water flipping. Flipping docks that are in a little bit deeper water, and it's going to go down more and come back up more, and so this Bandito Bug right here is going to be more effective than the Kraken Craw, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love the Kraken Craw too, but my go-to on this type of jig is the Bandito Bug. But if they're not liking it, I'll throw in a Kraken Craw. The Kraken Craw, the thing that I like about it is its craws are a lot floppier. They're a little bit bigger. I'll take it out here and do a comparison. In the water, because it's such a smaller, you're going to get a little bit more flap from these than the Bandito Bug's going to look a little bit more like a crayfish. So that's Bandito Bug. I just like it on the jig a little bit more. It flaps just enough. Yeah, I always have one of those tied up whenever I'm fishing. My boat right now is in service, so I'm kind of in the same situation most of you guys are, and that's flipping at, you know, your local pond or your local just launch. But most of those will still have 2 docks. So tie on a jig, flip the dock a little bit. I mean, that's one effective way. Let's get to the next one. Alright guys, so the next method right here is a drop shot. This is a 1/4 ounce, this one in particular. So you're gonna tie that on. You're gonna want a not too big a hook. You guys don't want a hook too big for drop shotting. You're gonna want a smaller hook, and as a lot of you guys know how you're gonna rig it, you're gonna take one of these, and when you use it, you're gonna hook it right through the nose of that. So you guys are gonna hook it right there, and you're just gonna, this is more for deeper water and more for in a boat again, which that kind of sucks, but it's more for deeper water and a lot of smallmouth. You don't catch a lot of largies on this, depending on where you guys are at. Smallmouth are gonna bite this pretty good. I've caught quite a few on that, and I'm using the Googan Baits drop shot, a drag and drop. It's for a drop shot. Alright, let's get into the next one. Alright guys, another thing I forgot to mention on the drop shot is these split tails. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried this, but I tried this one day, hook it through the nose the exact same. Oh my gosh, the fish, I caught so many fish on that. These right here at the Zoom, I caught probably 10 fish in an hour probably on that. It was crazy. I've never seen action like that on a drop shot. I mean, that was it all depends. I've caught a decent, like I said, I caught a decent amount on that, but I tried it one time, so maybe they were just liking it that day. But yeah, that's one thing. that I forgot to mention about the drop shot rig. Now the next one is gonna be your simple Texas rig. You're gonna just take your bullet weight, a hook, Senko, crawfish, whatever you guys really want. I mean, you can basically tie any bait on there and swim that around, bob it up and down, feel that hit and rip some lips. That's a good one for this time of year. You basically use anything you guys want on that. That's one big one that I've caught a couple fish on, especially in ponds. Or you guys know the simple wacky rig. You know, you just hook it, like that. Or you can get them rubber bands that hold it on. I just full on wacky rig it, hook it. And that's how I wacky rig it, is just hook it. I mean, you can do it either way. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't ruin the worm as much if you do use the rubber bands, but you know what? Senkos, they're not that expensive, so I'm not gonna spend that much on rubber bands to hold my lure together. That's just gonna get bitten off. Alright, let's get in the next one. Alright guys, the next one is gonna be your Ned rig. This is a smaller Ned. This would be more for like shallower Ned fishing. For that, I use the Googan Baits Rattling Ned. Caught a couple fish on that. It's awesome. Works good. Rattles. The rattle is awesome. I feel like that gives the fish more action. Or not the fish, it gives the rattling Ned, it gives the Ned more action. Or you guys can just go down and get regular Ned rigs. I don't think, yeah I do, right here. Right here you have like these ones. You can get these smaller ones. I got those at my local bait shop for like, I think you got 5 for $1. They had a good deal the day I went there. So that works really good this time of year. If you're fishing in deeper water, I'd use a bigger head, like a bigger ounce on that. But yeah, that's a big one right now for summer fishing. That, especially if you're in a boat. That's the thing, most of you, like I said, don't have boats, so I'm trying to throw in, you can still fish it, but like the Texas rig, you can fish that. Wacky rig, you can fish that in your pond. But yeah, let's get to the next one. Alright guys, so the next one is going to be your crankbait. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, so this one's more of like a bluegill color. I actually really like this one. It's gonna look more real, but just throw this on some rocks. Rocks, I mean rocky areas, throw it there. The bass love it right there. Especially if they're in shallow. If you can focus, there we go. Especially if they're in shallower water feeding, they're gonna love that liplet or crankbait. You can throw a lipless, but I like the regular crankbait. You can throw it up in them rocks, reel it in, catch some fish, rip some lips. That's what we're all here for. That's what we're watching this video for. More advice on how to catch more summertime fishing. I mean, you can do that in a pond too, reel it in. And another thing, guys, that I cannot stress enough is one thing, until you start finding the fish, cast in different directions. I see people go out fishing and they just cast in the same spot every time. Cast to the left, cast straight out, cast to the right, cast middle right, you know, in the middle but to the right a little bit. Don't cast in the same place. Then once you find a fish, you catch one, cast in the same spot you just caught that one. If you catch another one, the fish are gonna be there. Keep catching that keep casting there every time. Another thing, if you guys are pond fishing, start walking, slowly walk around the pond, cast out. That's another way to change the directions. If you guys, and another thing, if you guys notice you're catching fish close towards your bank or way out in the middle of the lake, cast more out in the middle of the lake. Cast more towards on the angle of the bank. That's one thing I just see people screw up on big time. Watching people's videos or just seeing people out in public screw up on a lot. First time fishermen tend to screw up on that quite a bit, which it is what it is, but that's one thing that's going to help you guys a lot. If you guys find the fish, you're going to be able to cast, you know, if you catch 3 fish near the bank and you guys are still casting deep, you're not going to catch any fish. You're going to catch them on the bank. So cast on the bank, but more to one side rather than out deep. That's one thing I see a lot of people do, and it's just like, come on, man. But yeah, so a buzz bait here and there, throw a buzz bait, top water blow-ups, frogs, high vegetation area. That's about it though, guys. Springtime, obviously they're spawning. You guys can almost throw anything on their bed and they're gonna bite it. That's what I love, to get out there and catch some fish. But once I get my boat back from being fixed, I'll definitely be uploading more to you guys, and we'll have more fun together. And let's start building, let's start helping each other out on this channel, and let's get going. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Turn on the notification bell so that way you'll get notified every time I upload, because you know how inconsistent I am. So thank you guys. I hope you guys learned something, and hope I helped you guys.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, Siri doesn't understand what I just said. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Yeah, peace.